So it's really good to see few of you with the cameras on, but then that's okay. Happy Thursday. And let's start. So we'll do the invocation and then we will do the meditation and then we will read something from the book, The Wisdom of the Zodiac. Let's begin without spending more time. I hope all those who have to join in will anyways join in. So let's begin. Close your eyes, put your hands together in front of your heart. We'll start with the wholeness invocation. To the Most High and the Holy Divine Supreme Mother, thank you for divine peace. Thank you for divine love, mercy, and grace. We humbly invoke for your divine guidance, help, healing, and protection. Thank you for blessing all of us with a healthy and fit body, clear heart and mind, wholesome and correct speech, faithful and grateful soul, on all levels, in all directions, with humility, love, and respect, in full faith. So be it. We'll say the prayer for wholeness. Open your arms as if to receive, tilt your head slightly. May I be a humble servant for the Most High and the Holy Divine Supreme Mother, with this whole body, heart, mind, speech, and soul. Put your hands in blessing position. May I show compassionate activity towards every person, every being without exception, in the higher, in the middle, in the lower worlds, and in all 10 directions. Gently put your hands together in front of your heart. Hallelujah. Shalom. Asheo in full faith. We'll chant Om thrice. Om. 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 Gently put your hands on your lap. Continue to keep your eyes closed and we will meditate together. Gently be aware of your physical body. Move your fingers, your toes. Welcome back. I hope you had a good meditation. So we will move ahead. So all those who were there last time, we are understanding the Leo constellation because that's what's the energies are still going on. Till I think this Saturday or Sunday, we will have a new moon. So from next week, we will move to the next constellation. That will be Virgo. So we were reading the 5 stages of Leo constellation. And last time we were properly understanding the fourth stage, that was the stage of becoming. So I'm just revising in like in short so that we are all on the same page. So it was mentioned that Leo is a constellation of billions of stars, and the energy holding this group of stars together as a unit is the soul of Leo. And the soul of Leo creates reorientation, individualization, focus, self determination, independence, and fusion in the human being. And these energies create 5 phases in the life of human being. So let's make it very simple to say that you don't need to be a Leo ascendant. You don't need to be born in August, let's say, to have, like wherever you are born, the Leo constellation still impacts. So, in simpler words, it is saying that the constellation of the Leo or the soul of the Leo constellation, it creates the energies that create 5 phases in the human life, every human life. And the 5 phases, the first one is where the man is a slave of his own emotions, thoughts, outer force, events, and influences, meaning that they have so much of impact that we don't use our own mind. We just go by living in the reaction mode. So the second stage is of confusion, where as a human being, I realize, no, I am being controlled. I don't want to. I don't feel, I feel very limited and bound as a slave. I want freedom. So that there comes, the stage of confusion, because we are bound as a slave and now we don't want to be as a slave. So we are just kind of like a pendulum going from one extreme to the other. The third stage is the stage of reorientation, where it is the man's ability to reorient. Like we start choosing differently. Okay, so people are doing this way, I don't want to. People are lying, I don't want to. It's like slowly and gradually we are changing the orientation based on the understanding that I have been living a life of a slave, not anymore. So the fourth stage comes of the stage of becoming, where as a human being, we start realizing that we are much more than our body, our emotions, our thoughts. We are much more than just this physical existence. And we kind of try to understand that we are a soul. And from that aspect, we start living and behaving. So this we covered properly in the last two sessions. So as far as the stage four is concerned, the stage of becoming, there is one part that I still want to emphasize before moving to the last phase, and that is that the greatest sickness in the world today is the sickness of dependency. Does that make sense? The greatest sickness in the world today is the sickness of dependency, that I am dependent. Let's say I'm dependent on my phone. So if my phone is not there, as if I will go after and see, look for it, right? So the greatest sickness in the world today is the sickness of dependency and of opening your mouth and swallowing the pills people put in front of you. So the sickness is that we are dependent and then we just keep on swallowing whatever the person is. Correct? Let's say so many advertisements, so many new things coming. Don't we go ahead and buy a lot of things which we may or we may not require? Don't we get influenced by so many things and get confused that we end up enrolling for, let's say, 10 different courses and end up doing nothing? As if we are just kind of, oh, this person said. So let's say, I mean, I will give a very good example. This is good because I found myself to be in a state of almost mental chaos what to do. So these days, a lot of information is coming related to healthy diet, healthy food, right? 10 different people may come up with 10 different things. As far as, let's say, the yogurt, it should not be eaten at night or it should not be combined with protein. So if you are eating, let's say, something that is high protein, the yogurt is, it's like you just go crazy with so much of information that you just end up being lost. Am I eating healthy or not? Is that making sense? All those different people coming up with, and then connecting this with that. And so it is like the greatest sickness in the world today is the sickness of dependency and of opening your mouth and swallowing the pills people put in front of you. Anyone is saying something and we're like, okay, without kind of thinking. So the author says, to overcome this sickness, you must receive the energy of Leo, who stands on the rock and roars, I am myself. So it is like to overcome that sickness where we are just taking in anything that anyone is projecting. We need to just allow ourselves and open to receive the energies of Leo, which creates that lion kind of strength now, which, who stands on the rock and roars that I am myself. So it is like, okay, so much of information. I will see what is suiting my body. It's very interesting. In past, I think, few years, uh, a lot of barriers related to food got broken in my life based on the exposure of challenges. And then it came that even, let's say, according to the Ayurveda, or let's say that knowledge which talks about the food and healing the body with the food, the same rule may not suit you. because your body has a different vata pitta kapha, or a different dynamics inside. So let's say for some people, they are low milk, like what, lactose intolerance, but for the other they are fine. So you cannot just say that everybody cannot have this, or does that make sense to everyone? So it is like that, instead of just opening mouth and swallowing everything what the other person is saying, allow yourself to receive the energy of Leo. And then when you do that, what happens is that your own mind starts developing. Okay, I like what Kim is saying, or I like what she is reading, but let me see how much of this is actually relevant. So, according to the teacher Master Chokuksui, my teacher from pranic healing, he will always say, use discernment. Do not blindly believe anything that has been said. So, it does not matter from where it is coming. Like for my daughter, I will say, just because I am saying, you do not need to believe it. I may be wrong. I may be, not developed enough. Not, have you not noticed our truth changes, our understanding changes based on as we grow? So the truth what which I was like kind of fighting for, now I say, oops, I'm sorry. I was not smart enough at that time, right? So same way, when somebody is talking, even right now, I am sharing from my current perception and understanding. God knows maybe these same words have such even more deeper meanings. Maybe one day when I am even better, I will say, yeah, that was good, but there is another layer to it. So develop that aspect where you are not just being dependent on, and I think a lot of time we become dependent when we become very lazy. I don't want to do my research, so whatever you're saying is okay. Okay, so that was the fourth stage where you are becoming. That means you are realizing that I'm much more than what I think I am. And then I live from the life of aspect of the soul. I think about the long term benefits. So uh, I may trick somebody, and I may get a momentarily benefit right now. But from the soul aspect, oh, that is a huge karmic debt. So even if it is causing me a current certain loss, but I will sow the right seed. That is the process of becoming, where you see life and live life from the soul aspect, and not from just the body. For example, in a very small sense, okay, I know a lot of sweet is not good. So I am either reducing to a very less quantity. So I'm taking it with awareness, but I am not being a slave of my tongue anymore, and I'm making a better choice. So instead of momental joy, no, momental satisfaction of my desire of craving, I am choosing the long term health of my body. Does that make sense to everyone? Right? So the fifth stage after becoming is fusion. So the first stage is of slave, the another stage is of confusion, where I don't want to be slave. The third stage is of reorientation. The fourth stage is the stage of becoming. And the fifth stage after becoming is the stage of fusion. So the author says Christ explained the psychological mystery of fusion with the following words: unless you lose yourself, you cannot find yourself. So the author is saying Christ has tied, to explain the psychological mystery of fusion with the words that unless you lose yourself, you cannot find yourself. Now, what does that mean? Let's see what the author is saying, and then probably I'll come up with my understanding. So, unless you lose yourself, you cannot find yourself. The lower self must be fused in a greater self. So, the lower mind must be fused with the greater mind. Self interest must be fused with goodwill and the will to do good for everyone. So, the individuality must die in the great individuality, which is the only one that exists, which is God. So, kind of say, let's say, when we talk about the heart center, it is the personal love. My mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my friend, my son, my daughter, my husband, my city, my country, my company, my house, my car, my bungalow, my position, my status, my title, my education, my certificate. That's all individuality, right? So, fusion of where this personal I my connection from the heart love goes to the crown center, where it does not matter my mother or your mother. If she is struggling, your mother is struggling, I will provide the same kind of service. My response will be same. So if someone I'm there outside, and if a child is in a some difficult condition where I am in a position to help, I will not restrict myself just because, oh, not my child. I will go with same kind of concern as if it is my child. Does that make sense? That is the universal love. So the author is saying that the lower self must be fused in a greater self. I am not just loving because somebody is mine, but the entire world is mine. What is the difference between this body and that body that is little far? You know, what is the difference? So that fusion. So the lower self must be fused in a greater self. The individuality must die in the great individuality, which is the only one that exists, which is God, as if we become fused with the divine consciousness. It's a very beautiful thing when the author is saying people talk about cosmic consciousness, people talk about God consciousness and Christ consciousness. These names have no meaning at all until you have a realization that you are a part of God. So we may talk about these great terms at Christ consciousness, God consciousness, cosmic consciousness, but all these words they don't have any uh, proper meaning or power or impact until and unless I have a realization that I am a part of this consciousness. I am a part of this being whom I address as God. So you are a cell in the great life behind manifestation. It's very beautiful if you try to feel it, what the author is saying. You are a cell in the great life behind manifestation. So if we just close our eyes and try to feel the manifestation in totality, so all the kingdoms that exist, the plant kingdom, microbes, the animal kingdom, if all that exists, the manifestation that exists. So when we see it, so let's say when we see, let's say, even the body, the physical body, so that is a physical manifestation. And then we observe the breath. Then we observe that when this body has the eyes open, and when I look into that eyes, there is something that connects, right or wrong. We have seen dead bodies, right? So let's say, for example, for dead bodies, let's take cockroach, because we all must have seen the dead body of a cockroach, I'm sure. So when the cockroach is dead, and when you look at it, and when it is alive and it is moving, all those antennas moving and crawling, there is a difference, right? So there is a life, the great life that is behind every manifestation. So we see the physical manifestation, but then there is a great life that is behind all of that. Because of that life, that physical manifestation is animated. That's true, right? Without the life inside my body will not animate. It cannot produce any sound, anything, if that life that is there behind inside is not there. Correct? So the author is saying you are a cell in the great life behind manifestation. That is that one life, that one consciousness that is giving life to the entire physical manifestation. And you are a cell in that life that flows through everything that exists. That is how we can do distant healing. That is how we cry if somebody else is in pain, and then how do we cry? That is how, when I am speaking something, it is impacting you, right? That's how it is. That's how one person is shouting, and then you say, I'm getting irritated. When one person is showing kindness, and then something touches your heart. How come? Because that same life, the great life, that consciousness that gives life to the manifestation, we are a cell. That's why everybody impacts everyone else. With the physical separatism, we are not able to see, but it impacts. It impacts. So, you are a cell in the great life behind manifestation. When you come to this realization, you will no longer be an individual. So, this is right now mental understanding of it. But when we actually realize, when this understanding becomes a part of our, oh wow, that is how it is. I am a cell, that tiny in that great life. So when you come to this realization, you will no longer be an individual, but you will be independent. You will be one with everything, but you will still have your own color and music. So there is oneness, but I am still Kim with this body. I am still doing individually, but then there is, so I will have my own individuality, but at the same time, I will live with that sense of connection and oneness and similarity with everyone else. Is it making anyone any confusion? It is something to actually realize and experience, where you can see that I am separate, but at the same time, there is a part that is just one with everyone, right? So you will be one with everything, but you will still have your own color and music. One with all, still having your own quality, your own essence. So the energy of Leo creates sensitivity in you. So the energy of Leo creates sensitivity in you to the pole star. So what is the pole star? The Polaris. So if we understand, generally we understand from, very basic understanding, we understand pole star to be the brightest star. And in the ancient times, when we did not have GPS, let's say, they used to follow the pole star to go in the right direction, right? So let's say pole star is that star, the brightest star, the brightest light that gives you the sense of direction, that this is the right path to go. So the energy of Leo creates sensitivity in you to the pole star, to Polaris. Polaris represents the pole star or God within you. That sensitivity, when I am the cell in that great life that I termed as God, then I live inside Him, right? So the energy of Leo creates sensitivity in you to the pole star Polaris. Polaris represents the pole star or God within you. This means that Leo creates an orientation in you towards God, towards that supreme wholeness. So that is not the Hindu God or the Jewish God or the Muslim God. It is that consciousness, same, that gives life, and we all are a cell in that. So the Leo constellation creates an orientation in you towards that life. towards that consciousness, towards God, towards that supreme wholeness. So the pole star creates direction in you, as if you have that sense of direction and you are following that direction automatically. So the pole star creates direction in you, and you pass through several phases. In the first phase, you sense a meaning in life. So now this is a different phase. We understand, right? The Leo constellation creates five stages in the life of human being. In that five stage, where this is a stage of fusion, when we have that sensitivity in us, this pole star, this sense of direction, make us go through five phases. Another one. So the first phase is where you sense a meaning in life, that you find that meaning, you know. So there is a meaning, there is a purpose I'm living for. So there is a meaning in life. In the second stage, you see a plan. In the third stage, you see the purpose, and the purpose is the pole star. The fourth stage is sacrifice, which means I am in you and you are in me. I want to be one with everything possible. This is the message of Leo. It's a lot. I'll go back again and go slow. I don't think so. There are five phases. Maybe there are four. Let's read again. So the pole star creates direction in you, and you pass through several phases again when you have that direction. So that in the first phase, you sense a meaning in life. So suddenly, let's say the life feels more meaningful, right? In the second stage, you start seeing a plan. So there is certain meaning that comes up from personal aspect. Then there are certain plans that comes. Okay, I have my own personal plans, right? In the third stage, you see the purpose, that why am I doing something, why am I living, why is this life? And this purpose is the pole star, because it makes you go directed towards, let's say, the plan, the divine plan. The fourth stage is the stage of sacrifice, which means I am in you and you are in me. I want to be one with everything possible. This is the message of Leo. I think this is the stage where automatically when we say sacrifice, sacrifice does not mean that I'm exploiting myself. Sacrifice means that I am beyond self interest. So let's say this book reading right now, it is beyond self interest, right? Does that make sense? I'm not exploiting myself in any way when I'm reading this book and sharing it with everyone. But that is a sacrificial service. It is a free session. You are free to join. I'm not really getting anything from the lower mind. Does that make sense? And I think all of us sacrifice in life. Let's say, as we become parents, we sacrifice our sleep, we sacrifice our wishes. We are not really exploiting, because every time when we cater to a child, when we put the child in front of us as a priority, how good we feel, right? That is how it is. One person is saying, I typed such a long message and before I could share it, it disappeared. Maybe the message is saying focus on what is sharing and don't write. Just absorb and receive. So the four stages of sacrifice, where we are beyond the lower self. We think from the aspect of how much more I can do or how can I contribute. And the more I contribute, the more it is like a hug, no? When one person is hugging the another, is it that only one person receiving? It is two-way way. If I am sharing love with somebody, it automatically comes back. So the four stages of sacrifice, which means I am in you and you are in me. I don't feel that I am sacrificing. My heart becomes so much in alignment with the life that flows that I automatically be in the process of doing good, something that can be helpful for everyone. This is the message of Leo. The lion of Leo stands for three things: that you unveil yourself, find yourself, and radiate out yourself out as creativity. So it is like the lion of Leo stands for three things. First, that you unveil yourself. So all the coverings that are there, you unveil, you find your true identity, what you are, and then you start radiating yourself out as creativity, through which you express beauty, goodness, and truth. So, as if first is that you are unveiling, you're trying to find, oh my God, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. And then you understand and find, oh, this is what I am. And once you understand yourself, you start radiating your goodness, your beauty, your gifts, your truth. Then your life will be a great inspiration for others. And through that inspiration, you will awaken the lion sleeping in every human being. So when you are on that path of radiating your goodness, you are kind of the lion in you, because that is your own thing. No, I am not just swallowing anything. I have an understanding. I have a sense. I have a meaning of life. And then I am being living in a way where my creativity is going out. So when I am doing that, the people get inspired. I get inspired to do more. And when I do more, give more, the people get inspired by me, through me. So then your life will be a great inspiration for others. And through that inspiration, you will awaken the lion sleeping in every human being. It is like you radiate your goodness and you have created that spark in the other person. And then the other person says, oh my God. It is same like I think sometimes in movie it was shared, no, that one person showed kindness to another person and the person says, oh, how can I say thank you and do, then say that you do the same thing to someone else. I am helping you, you help three-person. And then that's how the chain goes. So I receive kindness and it touches my heart. I get inspired and I show kindness. And then it touches the heart. And that lion, the Leo that's sleeping inside, gets awakened. So the lion is not necessarily found in those who are born under the sign of Leo. Leo represents the human spirit, that you are no more an animal, you are human. Act like one. Don't just be like an animal, no? Fighting, snatching, and be human. So, Leo represents the human spirit. That spirit must be awakened so that you are not a slave, but a master of yourself. That means you are not just blindly following everything. I choose. You choose. I choose what I will speak. I choose how I will speak. I choose how I will respond or feel or react. I choose. In fact, reaction is not there. If I'm choosing, it's a response and not a reaction, right? So, Leo represents the human spirit. That spirit must be awakened so that you are not a slave but a master of yourself. The goal of Leo is to see the jewel, the pole star, and dedicate your whole life to it, to look to that goal and achieve that goal. So it is like the goal of Leo is to create that sensitivity towards that God within you, and then your inner guide, that inner light, direct you towards what path you must walk on, what steps you must take. It is like you find the teacher that resides in you. That is what the Leo constellation strive and does for all of us. Interesting, right? So there is a very beautiful seed thought meditation, seed thought that the author has given. We don't have time to do that, but I will just share that question. Probably you can write it down, or this recording will be shared anyways. And then maybe whenever you have 5, 10, 15 minutes with yourself, no cell phone, no talking, just sit with that question. So that seed thought for meditation that the author has given based on this chapter of the Leo constellation is: what stage am I on the path of divine transformation? It's a very beautiful one. So it is like, what stage am I on the path of divine transformation? So then the author is saying, remember the 5 stages of slavery, confusion, reorientation, becomingness, and fusion, and find where you are. What are you doing to change yourself? Transformation starts the moment you ask questions and demand the answers from yourself. It's very beautiful. So transformation starts happening the moment I start asking questions to myself. It is not somebody else is asking me, but I am asking the question to myself and I am demanding the answer from myself. So let's say if I only start myself asking the question, Kim, why do you get irritated? And then I seek that reply from my own self. So when I start asking these questions to myself, then the journey of transformation starts. The last line, please explain in Hindi. The last line means the question of what stage I am, that one. Uh, or this line that what are you doing to change yourself? This one. What was the last line? Can you say again? Like I will tell in Hindi, but I need to know which one you are referring to. Last line, this one, the transformation starts the moment I ask question. Yes. So I already explained in English. I'll just say this thing. तो ऑथर ये कह रहे हैं कि जो भी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन यानी जो चेंज हमारे अंदर, बदलाव हमारे अंदर हमारे से आता है, वो तब आता है जब हम खुद से प्रश्न पूछते हैं कि अगर मैं अपने साथ बैठूं और मैं पूछूं किम तुमको इतना गुस्सा क्यों आता है, यू नो, तो मैं किसी और का वेट नहीं कर रही, अरे क्यों तुम ऐसे क्यों, लाइक व्हाई आर यू रिएक्टिंग इन अ सर्टन वे। तो अगर किसी मोमेंट मैंने कुछ सही किया या नहीं किया, तो मैं खुद से ये पूछूं कि भाई क्यों, लाइक ऐसा क्या हुआ, क्यों मैंने ऐसे बिहेव किया, क्या चीज़ थी मेरे अंदर। तो जब हम खुद से क्वेश्चन करते हैं और हम खुद से हमारे को आंसर मिलता है, तब बदलाव आता है। और रीज़न ये है कि जब हम खुद से क्वेश्चन करते हैं तो हम डिफेंसिव नहीं है ना, कोई हमें अटैक थोड़ी कर रहा है। लाइक नो बडी इज अटैकिंग मी व्हेन आई एम क्वेश्चनिंग टू माई सेल्फ, सो देर इज नो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म विच विल से दैट नो आई एम नॉट आंसरेबल। इट इज मी आस्किंग माई सेल्फ। तो ट्रुथफुलनेस बहुत ज़्यादा होती है। द ऑनेस्टी एंड द ट्रुथ कम्स आउट बिकॉज आई एम नॉट डिफेंडिंग, आई एम नॉट फीलिंग कि कोई मेरे पे अटैक कर रहा है। आई एम जेन्युइनली wanting to know why. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. With that, we close the session for today. I is the Om Mani Padme Home team already there? So till the time they are there, let's just give thanks. So to the Most High, thank you. To the teacher Torkum Suraidarian, thank you. To his teacher, his teaching, our teachers, every teacher, every teaching. We are very, very grateful. To the beings taking care of all of us as a group, helping us to better understand the beings of inspiration, expression, understanding. Very, very, very grateful. To all the visible, invisible helpers, to all the beings of light, love, and power, to all the nature beings, to our body, our soul, because of whom we can be here. Very, very, very grateful. With deep gratitude, respect, and love, we thank everyone on full faith. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.